Well, hello, friends. Welcome to the Ladybird browser update for December 2024. It has been a lovely month in the project, as usual. A bunch of us took time off for Christmas, but we still got some things done. So let me tell you all about it. First thing we always do is thank our sponsors, of course. This month we were joined by two new sponsors. Mitchell Hashimoto with $16,384 and Simon Bitwise with $1,200. So thank you both for joining the sponsor group, and to everybody else, of course, as well. Okay, so December 2024. What has happened? Well, in terms of raw numbers, we've seen 325 pull requests from 54 contributors. So that's basically the same number of contributors as last month, but with quite a bit less pull requests just because of Christmas holidays. And web platform tests continues to be a large focus. This month, we've done lots of engine work to improve our WPT score. And happy to report 123,181 new passing tests for a 1.739 M total. And a large part of the number of new passing tests is because WPT imported a WASM test suite, which we originally didn't pass. So we actually had to do work to make that pass. If we exclude the new WASM test, we've added 16,831 new passing tests this month. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Now, in context with the other browsers, this is where we were at the end of last month, and this is where we are today. So as you can see, we've actually had a little bit of a flippening here in the rankings. Ladybird is now trailing after Safari instead of Flow, as we were at the end of last month. So that's pretty cool. And you can also see that everybody is making a big jump here because of the aforementioned WASM test suite import. Now, as you know, or as you may know, web platform tests includes a million subtests for legacy text encodings. So I also like to do this graph without the text encoding stuff, just so that you can get a slightly smaller number to compare. And this was at the end of last month, encoding test skipped, and this is now. So it just gives you like a slightly better picture of the lead we now have over the Flow engine, which is small, but it is growing. I even saw some stuff earlier today going in. So we will continue advancing, but it's going to take a long time to catch up to Safari, Firefox, and Chrome, obviously, because there is a lot of stuff ahead of us that we need to implement in order to make up the gap. All right. Now, this month, we've begun adopting OpSSL as a replacement for our homemade crypto library that we had with us from Serenity OS. So we brought along our homegrown implementation of hashes and public key cryptography, stuff like that. And we have done a conversion of the hashing code. So cryptographic hashes are now done by OpSSL. Our old homemade hashing code is gone, but we still have a lot of stuff to do, like encryption, decryption, public key infrastructure, signatures, HMAC, I don't know. All kinds of stuff that we need to actually move to OpSSL. So there's a lot of work here to be done, but it is good to see some progress here because shipping a new browser with homemade cryptography was never really a serious option. So I'm happy to see this. And another big thing this month is WebGL. So we have started adding support for WebGL and WebGL 2.0. Here's a screenshot of Shader Toy. I'll show you live in a moment. But yeah, we have a large chunk of WebGL working with good performance. It handles shaders and everything very nicely. We're building on top of the Angle library, which is a cross-platform library that sort of abstracts away the native platform GPU API and gives you a streamlined way to support WebGL on all platforms. And this is just something that's kind of outside of our area, outside of our core competencies. Like, we don't want to sit and implement native GL support for every possible platform. So building on top of Angle right now makes a lot of sense. And it also allows us to implement WebGL fairly quickly, which is cool. Also this month, we added support for Canvas 2D filters. So we already had CSS filters, and now we have generalized that infrastructure so that you can also use this for filtering your 2D canvas draw operations. So here's an example of my cat being rendered with various filters. Very cute. And another thing this month is we've implemented a new JavaScript proposal called Regex Escape. This is something that you can use when you're concatenating strings to build up a regex. And it just essentially escapes any character that might interfere with the regex so that you can safely interpolate or concatenate strings inside of a regular expression. The proposal is currently stage 3. And as far as I know, we're passing all the known tests for it. So pretty cool. All right. So let me give you a bit of a demo of where we are right now with the browser. All right, so let's take a look at Ladybird, where it is today. First thing we're going to do is, of course, visit our new sponsors, starting with Mitchell Hashimoto. This is his personal website, mitchellh.com. And we are doing a pretty good job of rendering it, I would say. Mitchell recently put out the Ghosty terminal, which I'm actually using here. Very happy with it so far. Super cool. And Mitchell is also behind the company hashicorp.com. Although I don't think he works there anymore, but he was one of the original founders. And with HashiCorp, we do an okay job with the website. Just a bit of layout issues here. And if we scroll down, this looks pretty stretchy. There's probably something going wrong, but in general, it looks kind of all right. Yeah, these are definitely stretched incorrectly. But yeah, so those are Mitchell's websites. And then I know we also had Simon Bitwise, but I forget what the URL for his website was. So let's go to ladybird.org, and then we can find him in the sponsor list, Simon Bitwise here. Nomis.dk. So Simon has some kind of WebGL demo here, I think, that we're not quite capable of rendering yet. So we can't do it justice just yet. Maybe next month we'll be able to. But either way, very, very cool to have these new sponsors on board. And then I wanted to show you, why did I close that? I wanted to show you CNN.com, which now is actually able to load. It previously just got stuck while loading due to performance problems. But this month we've added at least enough optimizations to our CSS engine that the site can load. As you can see, there are some issues when you try to scroll here. But even so, it is neat to be able to load the site. Of course, we then immediately ran into a problem here. But it's probably something that we're going to have to look into next. All right, so I talked about WebGL earlier, so let me show you Shader Toy. Or let me show you Shader Toy in a new window. Okay. Right, so this is all WebGL, right? And it's running shaders built on top of the Angle library. And as you can see, it renders beautifully here in Ladybird. We can actually look at the shader on the right-hand side. And we can see we're getting an FPS count around 18 FPS. But I looked into this, and it turns out that this is slow because of the FPS counter. If we get rid of this FPS counter stuff, it actually renders at 60 FPS, no problem. It's just that we end up doing a bunch of CSS layout work because of the way that this FPS counter is implemented. So we're going to have to do some optimizations in our web engine just to make this FPS counter not suck up all the performance. And then we're going to get 60 FPS here as well. But that's some future work that we're going to have to do. Even so, it is super cool to see these GL shaders just work in Ladybird. I think that is happening. This is happening sooner than I thought it would, actually. So that's really cool. And then let me show you another example of WebGL on the web. So on the github.com landing page, you can see this like 3D animation stuff here, and it's like just works basically. There's a little bit of lag, a little bit of, you can see some things that are clipping incorrectly. So we do have some issues that we need to track down. But in terms of like WebGL as used on the web, on random pages, we are making massive progress. So I'm super happy with this. And yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to show you here today. Cool. So before we go, I just want to thank everybody who contributed code in 2024. This is a list of all the folks who have some kind of commit in the repository in December. Really appreciate all of the people helping out with this. It's been awesome. The 2024 has been an amazing year for Ladybird, obviously, and 2025 is probably going to be even amazinger. So thanks everybody for participating, and I hope you will continue to work on it with us. And thank you, of course, for coming here and watching the video, staying up to date with the project. And to everybody who supports us, whether it is through donations or by working on the project or by telling people about it, everything's really appreciated. It's been a great year. Thank you all so much, and we will see each other again next month.